Yeah, we've messed up any hopes we had of Champions League qualification this season. So today's episode is all about the cups, because we want to win some cups. Please don't lose today's 2 games. Hello and welcome to part 157 of Backing the Boro. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have an FA Cup 5th round tie away against Arsenal. That's going to be a big game that we'll probably lose. But then we do have the second leg of the first knockout round of the Europa League against Dundalk. Is that how you say it? You all told me off. I feel like we've had this conversation before as well, but I got told off in the comments the other day for saying it wrong. What a complicated word. If it's Dundalk, why don't you just spell it that way? Then I'll understand. Very, very complicated. Since you were last with me, though, league form has just disappeared entirely. It's been quite a while because I wanted to get to an interesting point of the season again. I wanted to get the transfer window closed. I wanted to get to the point where the cup games are significant. I almost showed you the Carabao Cup. I almost called it the Carling Cup there because I'm a very old man. I almost showed you the Carabao Cup semi-final, but then I remembered it was only the Carabao Cup and no one cares. We got knocked out anyway on away goals after extra time, which is apparently a thing. There was no goals scored in extra time, but Wolves were ahead on away goals at the end of 90 minutes. We got another 30 minutes. I'm thinking, we're going to penalties, it's fine. And we lost our away goals. Weird. But in amongst all that, we went on a long run of games where we weren't winning in the Premier League. So there's a draw there. Defeat. We do grab a win against Liverpool, but then another defeat again against Leicester. All of which means that our league position has tumbled down to 8th, and we are now 9 points outside of the Champions League spots. Ridiculously, Watford are in there as well, because Arsenal have also been in a tumble. So hopefully we can beat Arsenal today and capitalise on their poor form, but then our form's been just as poor, because both us and Arsenal were up in 4th and 5th place very recently. There has been a little bit of transfer business as well. Nobody coming in other than Sretenovic at the start of the transfer window, and we have now he's in our Europa League squad, and Rokic went into the Premier League squad. But we have moved Wagner on. He's gone to Sparta Prague for £7.5 million. And we've also loaned Dennis Jensen out to Rangers for the rest of the season. £190,000 a month to loan him out there. So it's going to bring in £500,000. That's not really why we're doing it. We want him to get out there and score some goals. Although rather troublingly, he's been there nearly a month and not played a game yet. So I think we might have broken Dennis Jensen when he broke his leg, which is a real shame, but hopefully he will grab some goals for Rangers as the season goes on. Rangers, interestingly, who haven't won the league for 27 years at this point. They were top of the league when he arrived, but they've now dropped back down to 2nd place again. So I was kind of hoping Dennis Jensen would be a superhero up there, but apparently he's not even going to get game time. So what's the point? Anyway, this is the team that we're putting out there today for the game against Arsenal. In fact, no, it's not. Now it is. So we're trying Sretenovic in midfield. We have played him in midfield a couple of times already, because looking forward, with both him and Joksimovic as young, promising left-backs, they're not both going to be in the team all the time. So if Sretenovic, who can already play as an accomplished central midfielder, if he can learn to become our Carrilero, then he could ultimately become the man we've been looking for all season, because he's fast and strong-ish. And he's a running about midfield player, and that's what we wanted all season. So we're going with Oliveira in goal, because it's a cup game. Joksimovic, Brodic, Sterling and Cupler at the back, with Sretenovic, Wanda and McAllister in midfield, and Nuhu in behind Nogueira and Jones. As it's a cup game, Lazic gets to sit on the bench today. He's not in our Premier League squad, but is in the... In fact, he's not in the Europa League squad either, but because he's under 21 and has been with us more than 2 years, he doesn't have to be registered. And I forgot about this. Oh, Kev's on a touchline ban. I went mental after the Leicester game because I was so frustrated that we're losing games for silly things. I think we had a goal disallowed against Leicester, and they had a penalty that was never a penalty, and I went assertive and grumpy in the press conference. I was just having a proper strop. I should have had it all on camera, really. But I did manage to earn myself a touchline ban. So, I mean, it's not going to be hugely different from how things normally go over the course of a match. Because I assume Ryan Cam, after 20 years of working with me, or 15 years, however long it's been for him, knows that he just needs to make 2 subs in the 70th minute, another one in the 80th, not change the tactic. If he messes around with anything else, I'm going to sack him because he knows how this is supposed to work. I assume I'm just sat at home watching this on telly. But a touchline ban for someone who doesn't do their own team talks isn't really that much of a hardship. I'm not that bothered. It's just, it's a little bit weird that I'm going to have absolutely no control over the substitutions or anything like that. But we are already 1-0 down. I don't think I've ever included a match that had a touchline ban in it before. We're literally just watching this together. That's why I'm drinking my coffee in my Game Boy cup. Delicious. I perhaps should have picked a stronger team in light of the fact that, I mean, if I'd have remembered there was a touchline ban, I might not have played. What on earth has gone on here? Why is... This isn't... What? That isn't the team I picked. Has he re-picked the team? Have we got to do some firing, or has he just shuffled everybody around? How do I... What has he done? I need to see the team. How do I do it? Can I literally not see the team? Because I'm on a touchline ban. I'm not allowed to see how the team are lined up. Right. Nuneaton. Formation. Well, that's right. But those players are different. How can... Player ratings. Right. Let's have a look at this. So, I didn't have Ferguson in my team. I had Brodic. Where's Brodic isn't even in the squad now. What has he done? No, Brodic is on the bench. Is this supposed to happen? He has re-picked the team. Stratenovic has gone to left back. Hayes, McAllister and Wander in midfield. Lazic has come into the team up front. You can't do that. I picked... Just because I'm on a touchline ban, I picked the team. That is mad. I've never known that happen before. To be fair, I've had very few touchline bans in my time. But they do sting a little bit more if I'm not even allowed to pick my own team. But how... I mean, if this is an actual feature of the game, that when you're on a touchline ban, you don't even get to pick the team, how unrealistic is that? That's not how it works in real life football. In real life, the manager's sat there out the back, having picked the team. He's watching the game on a little monitor or up in the director's box. I don't know, is he allowed in the director's box? He'll be watching it from somewhere. And he'll be telling the assistant exactly what to do. He won't just, I'm going home. Assistant manager, if you don't like the 11 I've put out there, do what you want with it. Put the goalkeeper as substitute number 7. That won't annoy anybody. I mean, what is this? As far as I'm concerned, Kieran Kerr's our substitute goalkeeper in this game, and Vujicic is a striker. My bench is wrong, and I'm devastated by it. And bearing in mind, as we all know, he picks the bench every week. And when he's picking the bench for me, he puts the substitute one as the goalkeeper. So, this is just his way of saying, oh, look at me, I'm getting off. I really am changing everything. I'm moving the goalkeeper around. Well, you don't... Next game, you're moving the goalkeeper around when I'm here too. I mean, what a mess he's made of this. We've got two out-and-out left-backs on the bench, Joksimovic and Robinson. That's a waste of time. I don't understand what's going on. And now we're 3-0 down. Marvellous. I mean, this is... We're not retaining the FA Cup this season, are we? And it's all thanks to the idiot referee against Leicester, my idiot of an assistant manager who doesn't seem to be able to follow simple instructions. This is a season ruiner here. We've now got to win the Europa League. Are we making any substitutions, or are we just happy with how things are going, Ryan? Goodness gracious me. Jones playing out on the left wing, it seems. Why not? I'm surprised he isn't playing with wingers. Oh, finally got the opportunity to play with wingers. My one true love. Yeah. Ball over the top again. I mean, this is what happens when you don't have Brodic on the pitch. You can't not play Brodic. Yikes. Brodic is the only way we managed to solve the ball over the top problem, because he just throws himself at it constantly. Still no substitutions. At least we are still playing in the correct tactic. Although we've got the players combined in the wrong order. We've now made a goalkeeper substitution, apparently. Substitute keeper Kieran Kerr has come on up front. More baffling decisions. I mean, they're not in the right order. And Nogueira's our defender substitute. It's all wrong on that bench. And it's 80 minutes in and he's made one change when we're 3-0 down. Maybe, Ryan, just maybe, give it a go playing the 11 players I picked. See how that works out for you. No, we don't fancy that. What an absolute nonsense. In more exciting news, we've taken 2,500 away fans to Arsenal, which, put that into context, we weren't getting 2,500 fans in total when we were in League Two. So there are a lot of beautiful Glory supporters in Nuneaton, and they're all awesome. And they actually go to away games now too. Right, let's put that nonsense right. Is there any explanation from him? From what he was thinking? Is my team... See, that's still the team I picked. So the team I picked is still on there. And he just ignored it and put out a complete... Baffled. Right, let's try this again. I don't know how many changes I've made from the team that played against Arsenal because I didn't get to pick the team. But we're going with Oliveira in goal, Joksimovic, Brodic, Sterling and Coupler at the back. You know, that back four I tried to play in the last game. Stratenovic, we are finally going to have a look at in midfield with Wanda and Hayes. And then we're going to play Twan in behind Kerr and Jones. We are already 4-1 up from the first leg. And this is our home leg. So, in theory, this should be a bit of a formality. But there's always the fear that we might, because we're in such poor form, we might just roll over and let them go through. And, come on then, lads. Through you come. Never mind us. We've decided we're just going to keep losing games now and be rubbish. Right, Coupler is running the wrong way. Has a shot at the wrong goal. But it's with Oliveira, who... the more I think, the more likely it is that Oliveira is going to be our first choice keeper next year. So we are actively looking for a new backup keeper. And when I say actively looking, I mean there's a few on our scouting thing that I've asked for a re-scout on. And it might even be that we find another first choice. Jones has just finished an absolute beauty. Kerr nodded on to Jones. Jones doesn't miss from there. It might even be his 20th goal of the season now. And bearing in mind he's had a couple of spells out injured in that time as well. It's his first season playing at this level. And he's only 21, I think. Jones is going to be a good one for the future. He has made his full... Did I just say that? He's made his full England debut this season as well, along with Twan. So between the two of them, we've got a couple of promising England internationals there, although Twan is one that we're going to really struggle to sign permanently because Arsenal are still quoting us £200 million as a fee to buy him. So we just need to hope we can get him on loan again next season. We weren't able to try and sign him on loan in January because, again, the game's glitching out on me and saying you can't have more than two players on loan at the same time from English clubs. We've got Twan and Robinson. Twan's one of the two, so extending his loan isn't a third loan, but it just won't let the option to click on loan is greyed out and the big red text saying, yeah, you can't ask for any more loans. So it seems the last day or two of me playing Football Manager 18 have been Kev on bug hunting. We're finding errors in the game at this stage. It shows how complicated the game is, really, that I'm probably over 1,000 hours in now and I'm discovering errors for the first time. There's really no hope for him to have this game completely bug-free because no matter how much testing you do, if it takes 1,000 hours to identify a bug, then how do you replicate that in testing? Madness. Right, so we're 2-0 up on the night, 6-1 on aggregate. It should be easy peasy from here. Brodic collects. So you're going to square it. Oh, he crosses it very nicely. Although it doesn't get anywhere near a blue shirt. But we don't need to worry about that. It was Patrick Brodic with a cross. I thought he only knew how to head the ball and hoof the ball. I didn't realise he also had crossed the ball in his repertoire. Hayes now. Coupler's on the overlap. He finds him. Coupler tucks it back into Hayes again. He's got a little bit of space. It's with Twan and it's 3-0. And I'm now thinking in terms of, right, who needs a rest? Who have we got on the bench? Because we are absolutely destroying Dundalk. Is that right? As we should have done, really. It is mad that they've made it to this stage of the competition. It does suggest that the Europa League might be quite weak and might actually still be winnable. Of course, we are going to have the draw for the next round at the end of the episode. This is where we get Chelsea, as an example, and just get knocked out. But it would be nice to have a nice little run in this, because certainly the way our league form is going, winning this might be our only route into Europe next season. Unless we can turn the league form around, we're not going to get back into the Europa League through league positions again. We're out of both the domestic cups. We're going to have to win the Europa League and get ourselves into the Champions League, which it's probably, looking at the teams left in this, it's probably easier than trying to get into it through the league. Right, Stratenovic, big ball forward towards Jones, who's in acres of space and finishes comfortably, and it's 4-0 just before half-time. And that was just easy. That goal, how many times over the last 150 episodes have you seen us concede this goal? Just a ball over the top, player in miles of space, 10 yards past the last defender by the time he receives the ball, and just tucks it away comfortably. That was quite cathartic, seeing us score a goal like that. Jones is on a hat-trick now. We have got Checo on the bench. In fact, I think Checo is probably a sensible substitution to make in the second half, because he got injured shortly after arriving last summer and has never really looked any good. And I think if he can't put in a good performance against this lot, then we know he's one we need to move on in the summer and get Dennis Jensen back into the squad, because Dennis would score in this game. Kerr to Hayes. To Stratenovic. Hayes again. Stratenovic pretending he's a left back, and Hayes nods it down to Jones, to Twan, to Kerr, and it's 5. And I really want to bring on Checo, but we've now got both Kerr and Jones on hat-tricks, and it seems a little unfair to take either of them off. So I think I'm just going to wait to see which one of them finishes off their hat-trick and then take them off. Got to give them both the opportunity to get hat-tricks. Confidence and momentum going into the league games, massively important. And if we get our 2 strikers scoring goals, that's marvellous. Also, Twan doing well as well, which is also marvellous. After all that, I really feel like I do need to bring Checo on quite soon. If we get to the 70th minute and neither of them have scored again, Checo comes on for one of them. Probably whoever's most tired. Just because he needs to have an opportunity to get out there and grab a goal in a game like this and get some confidence into him. Do I make the change now? Make the change now, Kev. Forget this 70-minute nonsense. Let's take off Kerr. Bring on Checo. And that's really the only change we need to make right now. Everyone else is playing quite well. No one seems to be particularly struggling with fitness, although Hayes can probably come off in a minute, because he's down into the 60s and there's no reason for him to overexert himself. But what we want now is a goal from Checo. Coupler does brilliantly there, but then can't actually get control of the ball, but does well again. He does double brilliant, and it's Jones down the right-hand side. Is Kerr still on the pitch? Checo is there and does grab his goal. There you go. That's what we brought him on for. It's 6-0 to Nuneaton on the night now. This is going to be one of those European nights that's remembered forever. We're scoring bags of goals, and that was great from Jones, and Checo did really well to finish that off. So there you go. He's said, don't worry about me, boss. I'll grab goals if you give me the opportunity. Now start me in the Premier League. Well, no, because the other 2 have still scored more than you today, little fella, but it's good to see you being competitive. Right, not Wanda. Hayes can come off for McAllister. And that will do. We'll give it another 5 or 10 minutes and keep an eye on anyone else's fitness dropping below. I mean, look at Brodic. How is he still above 80%? He plays every single game. The man is a machine. Sterling now can come off and we'll bring Ferguson on. Sterling, we're giving him a little run in the team at the moment because he had one of those I never get to play football moans. So we need to make a decision whether he's going to be the long-term replacement for Ferguson. I'm thinking he probably isn't, but we'll give him another 2 or 3 games until he drops his moaning about lack of football, then get Ferguson back in the team and get back to defender shopping again in the summer and hopefully, finally, find a partner for Brodic. Right, let's do the draw for the next round. Here we go then, next round. There aren't a huge number of big teams left in this. We've still got the 2 Milan teams, who we'd be a little bit afraid of. Maybe Roma. Everyone else in this is beatable. Right. This is going to be us straight away, isn't it? Ooh, That's handy. That gets one of them out of the way. Valencia against Nantes. Espanyol, Lazio, Tottenham. Nuneaton, probably. Yeah, I mean, that's probably the hardest domestic game we could have had. If we can make it past Tottenham, we've got to be in with a big chance. Celtic against Atalanta. Saint Etienne, Inter, Zenit, Real Sociedad and Bordeaux versus Norwich. It's one of the harder games we could have got, and we will be showing you probably the second leg of that in the next episode. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.